Hello everyone and welcome back to the Corporate Sister TV. I'm Solange Lopes and I'm the founder of the Corporate Sister website and brand. This video is part of our Black History Month series in which I address questions and suggest actionable tips and tools for Black women and women of color at work. Today I'm answering the question, how do I address microaggressions at work? Microaggressions are defined as verbal, behavioral, and/or environmental indignities communicating a hostile or negative racial slight or insult towards a targeted person or group. Simply put, they're quite difficult and painful to deal with and to challenge, especially in a work environment. This is why it is so important to come up with some sort of a process or some sort of a strategy in order to proactively and constructively address these microaggressions when they arise in the workplace. Here are 4 steps that I would like to suggest. The first one is to decide how much time and energy to devote to dealing with a particular microaggression. Again, microaggressions differ in the type of intensity, in the type of frequency at which they happen, and also in their very nature. We can be faced with a very large array of different types of microaggressions arising in the workplace, which makes it important to pick and choose our battles. We cannot, although, we would like to sometimes address each and every microaggression that comes our way. Neither do we have enough time and energy to devote to confronting and addressing each and every microaggression. So deciding which microaggression is worth devoting time and energy to and how much time and energy we want to devote to these can go a long way towards creating more of a constructive approach towards these, as opposed to trying and fighting every microaggression related battle, which may in the end deplete us of our energy and time, but also create an even more hostile work environment. The second step that I would like to suggest is to prepare for the acute level of discomfort and awkwardness that comes when and if we decide to confront a particular microaggression. We have to realize that there's a lot of education that is lacking in the expression of microaggressions, and a lot of painful information and painful attacks that are embedded in these microaggressions as well, which makes it quite uncomfortable and quite awkward to confront and address them heads on. This is why preparing ahead of time for uncomfortable conversations and maybe awkward interactions at first can go a long way towards striving to create more of a constructive conversation and more of a constructive process of self-education and also educating the other, as opposed to having a more painful confrontational approach. And in that sense, the third step here is, if and when you decide to confront a particular microaggression, to strive to clarify the situation with the other party. There is a lot of miscommunication and misinformation that is often embedded in microaggressions, and that can make the resolution or the discussion through these microaggressions quite painful and quite inaccurate at times. So clarifying the situation by making sure both parties are understanding what's at stake and how the information has been perceived on both parts can go a long way towards, again, creating more of a constructive approach, more of a constructive conversation, as opposed to a confrontational approach that will not yield much results. And last but not least, the last step that I would like to suggest here is to decide what impact this particular microaggression will have on your career and on your life in general. Many of us carry much weight from the microaggressions that we fall victim to, sometimes on a daily basis. And it's really important to go through a process of self-introspection to really ask ourselves how much weight we want to afford these microaggressions, these negative attacks attacks that we may be subjected to in our workplace. This will go a long way towards, one, alleviating the heavy burden that this may create, but also open us up to more opportunities to educate ourselves and educate others and foster more constructive conversations, more constructive educational processes, more authentic and open workplaces as well, not to mention more inclusive and diverse workplaces as well. I would be curious to know what your take is on addressing microaggressions in the workplace. So please email us at corporate@thecorporatesister.com and let us know your insights and or the experience you've had with microaggressions in the workplace. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.